Today we're going to make a homemade best cheesecake ever. This is going to be a New York style cheesecake, a baked cheesecake. First thing we're going to do is put our crust together. So we'll start out with 1 cup of sifted flour, a 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 stick of butter, which is 1/2 cup. I'm going to take a fork and just break up this butter a little bit. It'll just be easier for incorporating into the flour. A 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 egg yolk. I've separated the white out, and I'm just going to slightly beat it. Just break it up a little bit. And I have a pastry cutter. You can just use the fork if you like. We're going to continue until our crust looks like coarse crumbles. I am going to use my fingers, which is totally okay. I'm smashing it between my fingers to break up the butter. And this is what you want it to look like, crumbly butter. Use our springform pie pan. 1/3 of the crust goes into the bottom of the pie pan. I'm pressing the crust into the pie pan, and then we're going to cook it. Don't get hung up on the 1/3 cup. The rest of the crust is just going to go on the sides. And you'll see there's areas that are a little bit thicker. You push that down, you can get a little bit more out of it. It's going to plump up a little bit as it cooks. It's going to be more crust than it looks like. We're going to pop this into a preheated 400-degree oven for 8 minutes. All right, and here's our 8-minute timer. Brown crust. While it's cooling, we're going to go ahead and get started on the cheesecake mixture. So the first thing we're going to need is cream cheese. We need 5 8-ounce sticks of cream cheese. We're just going to dump these in our mixing bowl. Add to that a 1/4 teaspoon vanilla and a 1/4 teaspoon lemon juice. Now we're going to beat these 3 ingredients with the mixer until it's creamy. Always start the mixer on low. Let the mixer break it up a little bit, and then slowly increase the speed. If you turn it on high right away, you're going to have ingredients all over the place. It's going to splatter. When your ingredients are creamed, turn off the mixer. I like to scrape the sides a little bit. Now, we're going to alternate our dry and wet ingredients. So let's put our dry ingredients together. 1 3/4 cup of sugar, a 1/4 teaspoon salt, 3 tablespoons of flour. I'm just going to put them all in one dish here so we can alternate the dry and the wet ingredients. The wet ingredients, eggs. We add 1 cup of eggs plus 2 additional egg yolks. So let's get our mixer going again. Drop in a couple of eggs. A little bit of the dry mixture.
It dries it up fast.
It does. Once you see it incorporating a few more eggs, and you're just going to keep alternating. All right, we're finished with the mixer. So the last thing I'm going to do is add a 1/4 cup heavy whipping cream. And you just want to stir this in. You don't want to over whip it.
Whip it real good?
No, don't whip it real good. Stir it in.
Do not whip it real good. Whip it. Don't whip it real good.
Now we're going to add the sides to our springform pie pan. While I'm over there, I'm going to increase the temperature on the oven to 450 degrees. Just add the top to the pan and lock it into place. We're going to take the rest of our crust and just form it around the sides. It doesn't have to go all the way up. Once you have the crust around the outside, we're just going to pour the cheese filling into the crust. This is not, the sides are not baked. They will bake with the cheesecake. We're going to pop this up in the oven at 450 for 12 minutes.
That's all?
Oh no, that's just when we change the temperature. When the timer goes off, cook it 55 minutes at 300 degrees, and then we're going to test for doneness. So now we got the cheesecake out. Next we test for doneness. We need to insert a toothpick, and if it comes out clean, then that means your cheesecake is done. If it has batter on it, or looks like it's got something sticking to it, just put the cheesecake back in for 5 more minutes. So here we go. It's clean. So I would say the cheesecake is done. All right, so now it's cooled. I'm going to just run a knife, a butter knife, around the edges of the cheesecake to separate it from the pie, from the springform pie pan. I'm just going to loosen the spring on the pie pan. Take this off.
Wow. Cool.
And now I want to chill this. So I'm gonna wrap it up, put it in the refrigerator, and chill it overnight.
Did you leave it on the bottom pan?
Yes.
The bottom plate thing?
Until it's completely cool. Now tomorrow, when it's, I mean, it'll be cold, you know, because it's going to chill overnight in the refrigerator. Then I can flip it over and pull the bottom pan off.
Okay. Cool. Can't wait to taste it tomorrow. This is great. Best cheesecake ever.